For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a returning special guest. We have Bailey James. How's it going today, Bailey?
Hi, I dyed my hair pink, people.
I did. That was one of the things that I noticed, and I couldn't remember if you had your hair dyed last time, but I was just
I don't know. I dyed it red for Christmas, hated it, took it out, and then dyed it pink. But like, I gotta dye the roots because it's looking messy. So
it's all good. It's all good. So for the people that are just getting to meet you for the first time, I think it's been right around a year since we had you on last. It was for Bitter. So I'm trying to remember when that released. Beginning of 2021, I think. So
yeah, about a year.
Yeah, so it's been about a year since we've had you on, but for everybody that's just getting to meet you for the first time, let's do a little refresher on kind of your background in music.
Yeah, so I've always had a love for music, was brought up on all kinds of music. I remember being in the car when I was like 6 years old and my dad singing like Johnny Cash, Walk the Line, and Folsom Prison Blues. And I just thought they were so cool. And as I got older, I started listening to Patsy Cline, and she was the woman that made me want to get into country music because you could feel everything she was saying. And that's what I did. I got into country music, came to Nashville at 11 and did the country music scene till I was about 17, 18. And now I'm kind of switching over. I don't even know what to call it. Like pop, what would you call it? Pop rock? Dad?
Pop Southern rock almost?
Something like that. Yeah. And so that's kind of been my journey.
Because
with music, it's been a little all over the place.
Yeah, kind of listening to the last three singles that you've released. So when we first met you, when you released Bitter, it was a little bit more of a rockin' anthem compared to what I was listening to previously.
Yeah.
And then now your most recent single that you released, it's definitely got a little bit more of a, Finally Free is what I'm speaking of, is got a little bit more of a soulful feel to it.
Yeah,
I was sitting there trying to put a fine point on it, and it's
hard.
Yeah,
it's very hard. I think I pull from a lot of different influences. As I got older, I started to actually grow into myself. When I was 11, I didn't know who I was, what I wanted to sing about. So I sang about what I knew, and I call them my schoolyard tunes. And we just kind of leave them where they're at. But as I got older, I listened to different music. I listened to Amy Winehouse and Kurt Cobain, and they had these cool sounds in their music. And I was like, I want to include that. So I started to include that in my music. And I think I also started experiencing my first heartbreak and just real life experiences that really shaped my music and my lyrics in a different direction.
For sure. It's growth is the part of everything, especially when it comes to music. I do want to kind of just jump right into Finally Free because it's an absolutely amazing song. Like I'd mentioned, it was definitely had a different feel than some of your other music. And it's a lot deeper than I think a lot of people give it credit for, because it's when you hear a song like Finally Free, it's like, oh, from an abusive relationship or, something to that effect. But if I was paying attention and reading everything correctly, it's about more along the mental health aspect of things.
Yes. I have had my fair share of experience with mental health, lost my brother to suicide when he was 18. I was 16 at the time, and I didn't really truly start experiencing mental health issues till last year. I got diagnosed with OCD, and I was just trying to navigate that. And I during that time went through a horrible breakup and a horrible tonsillectomy surgery. And it was just like one thing after another. And at first I wrote Finally Free about getting out of a relationship. But as like I got older and I sat on the song, it became more about my mental health, because I think that there's something freeing about being able to see your own struggles with yourself and see how far you've come.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Besides the meaning of the song, how much had the song changed over time? So, because you wrote it when you were...
I wrote it like 2 years before we released it.
Yeah.
And I think I love the acoustic version. I wish we could release that. That's my favorite version of all time. I wrote it with Nolan Neal and John Allen Miller, and we just recorded it there in Nolan's studio. And it was the first time I had ever written with Nolan, and we both didn't want to write with each other. Okay. And we made that very clear at the end of the write. We were like, we didn't want to write, but damn, we write good songs. And after that, we've written all kinds of music, but it started off more blues. There was really not any country in it. And then we went to country radio with it. So we had to add some country influences.
Gotcha. And why did you kind of decide now, or 2021, the end of 2021 was kind of like the right time to release that song? We
just met the right people who believed in the song as much as we did. And that's kind of how, we couldn't have gotten the Billboard placements without the help of other people. It was just not possible. So the right people, and it was the right time. And we sat on that song because we knew it was super special. And it turned out, the Opry liked it. That was crazy to me when the Opry named it like Circle Song of the Week. I was like, holy curse word. I'm not gonna curse with the Opry in a sentence. That just doesn't feel right, but
Fair. That's very fair. So how does it feel to have this song get so much success? Because it charted on Billboard, correct?
It did. It was 42 on Country Billboard. And that's just insane to me. It was insane because, during that, I was still going through all my stuff, and I was trying to like soak all that in and like bask in that moment, but also like try to deal with my struggles. So when people ask me about it, I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't really there, but it was really amazing.
Yeah. But do you look back at it now, and what do you take away from this whole experience now that you're all there, for lack of better words?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I'm all there, but it was amazing, and I'm just happy. I'm very proud. I've done this for 9 years now. So I was like, at some point, they're going to like a song. I just have to keep pushing. And so I feel like accomplished a little bit.
For sure. So so you released 3 singles in 2021.
Yes.
Was the original idea to do like an album or just singles?
Honestly, we had no idea. Quarantine like completely messed everything up. So we were like, well, we're just going to keep releasing single after single. We have all this music. I was writing so much music. I was in a really creative space. And so it just happened like that. We didn't really mean for it to happen, but it did.
Gotcha. 4 singles. Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh, you're good.
I was just like, oh, wait, there's 4 there. Why can't I count? Dang it.
Yeah, there was Mama Says. Did we put I Feel a Sin out? I don't know.
It was Swore I Was Over
It.
Bitter, Over You, and Finally Free.
Okay, so Mama Says was before that.
We had some collaborations as well.
Yeah, we did have collabs. We did a song I did a song. Why am I talking in the like third person? Anyway, I did a song with Twang and Round, and they kind of do country rap. So.
Oh, awesome. And then are you still heavily involved with the Highway Women?
I kind of decided to go solo in, I think, what was it? September, somewhere along the release of Finally Free. I just couldn't do both. And I still love Jill. Jill does all of my PR, and I love the ladies. I think what they're doing is amazing. I just couldn't I couldn't handle both. It wasn't happening for me.
That's fair. That's very fair, especially when you're trying to get your own career going, maybe down line once you're a little bit more established and, all that stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, of course.
Like I like to say never in this industry because you just never know what's
you never
happen.
know.
So Finally Free's been out. When did Finally Free officially release in 2021?
Do you know that? Because I don't know that.
What's that?
When did Finally Free officially release? Oh, Kevin's here, everybody. This is my dad, who is my brain today.
It released the end of 21. It released in June of 21.
June of 2021.
Yeah,
that's when it released.
Gotcha. And so what's kind of going through your mind now that it's out and a new year is upon us? And
I look back at it with really fond memories because I love that song. It's my favorite song I've ever written. But I'm more excited because I've really found a place where I feel comfortable in music. I love country music, and country music is a part of me. But there were certain points where, there were songs I was writing that I could never put on country radio. It just wasn't going to happen. So this next song, people are going to find out a lot about me, and I'm okay with that.
And this is the song that you teased on your Facebook this morning?
Yes, it is. How do I hint at this? It's about TikTok, and it's about cheating and shitty ex-boyfriends. That's what it's about.
Gotcha. So I was half right when I guessed.
Yes, you were half right. Everyone was like guessing like something about your tattoo, because I got this new tattoo. And I was like, no, look at my shirt. It says cheat on him.
Yeah. Well, because I saw that and I was just like, that's a little too obvious. There's gotta be, and so I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's a little too obvious. There's like 20 people that said it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's gotta be about, like, before I had like kind of dug a little bit deeper on Finally Free, I saw that and I was like, Finally Free might be in an abusive relationship. So maybe the next song is revenge of some sort.
Anyone who knows me personally knows exactly what it's about. And that's why they were like commenting and being like, I know what it's about, because they were there when it all happened. But I sat down one night and I had been in such like a writing block. And that happens for me. I'll write like 3-4 really good songs and not be able to write for a month. I don't know how people write every day. I can't do it. It's just not me. But I was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm trying to make up stories. So like, let's write a story that's actually happened. And this song came out, and it's a lot, but I'm excited. And we're filming a video for it soon. So.
And you did that for Finally Free as well. You recorded a music video for that.
I did. And that day of that music video, I was like, oh, it was a bad day. But I look back on the video and I'm like, I'm so glad. Like we shot, there's scenes where I'm like in this really flowy dress and I'm like at the top of a car and the wind's blowing. We shot that like right by my house.
Nice.
There was no way I was going anywhere else that day.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, and you shot it in Nashville?
We shot it in Hendersonville.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that's close. I'm not 100% sure where.
It's like 20-30 minutes. Some of the rooftop scenes we shot in a parking garage right by like Printer's Alley.
Okay.
Printer's Alley.
Okay. I don't pretend to know a lot about Nashville. I
don't know a lot about Nashville, and I've lived here.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'd really love to move to Nashville, but
yeah,
I'm just kind of.
I know where like the best, like the cheapest parking garages are. I know like that, but I don't really know anything else.
Yeah, that was the one thing that tripped me out the first time I went to, or the first time I actually went and did touristy things in Nashville.
Yeah.
How expensive parking was. It was insane.
And I have gotten parking tickets because I didn't I left something out of my license. That actually reminds me, I need to respond to one of those emails.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Amazing.
But yeah, they have like the codes and you have to like scan them. I hate those.
Yeah. completely understood. It's I can't deal with it. So if I ever go to Nashville, I will not be going anywhere near Broadway.
I love Broadway.
Unless I Uber. So
Funny.
just putting it out there. But anyway, so you got the new single. Have you put out a release date for that yet? Or is it just still where in the process are you on it?
We don't have a release date yet. We have the whole song recorded. We have the video idea, but not a release date yet.
Okay. You probably want to get the video done first and then.
Yeah. And people are like asking, they're like, it's been since, June, July, like you need to put out a new song. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to hear it. I don't know if you're ready.
I don't know if to be fair, you've been putting stuff up on your social media, Facebook pages. You've been doing like the acoustic sets, right?
Yeah, I have. And I've been writing a lot. So I'll probably just start writing or posting little snippets of like what I've been writing.
Gotcha. How's the writing process been?
Oh, it's been good. I've had a lot of material to write about. 19 has been wild already. Definitely. So it's been pretty easy. I mean, I've been more not writing with my guitar and finding like beats online that I like poppy beats, and kind of experimenting with that. And that's really cool.
How has that kind of challenged your creative process? Like flipping from doing it with the guitar to finding more pre-made beats?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just fitting my lyrics into the lines and like, you're following the beat. You're not following, like the guitar isn't following you. With guitar, I can like change the chords and I can change the rhythm. And so it challenges me because I'm used to, I have my favorite like chord progressions and I like ballads. So I'm trying to, challenge myself. I can't have a ballad for every song. It's just not going to happen.
Gotcha. So you'd mentioned earlier that you did a collaboration with a country hip hop act.
Yes.
What was that?
What do they call it? Hip hop? What do they call it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That what's the dude's name that does that? Calls it that Big Schmo or something like that.
Oh, we met him. Yes.
Yeah. So what's kind of the challenge of stepping way outside your comfort zone?
Well, see, I don't really have a comfort zone. Okay. And I think that is what makes people nervous because I will go as absolutely far as they will let me. I have my morals and stuff, but like, I love all genres of music. So if someone wants me to do like a jazz song, I'm going to do a jazz song. And, it wasn't really me stepping outside of my comfort zone. I've been kind of in that scene for a long time. I'm went on tours, did mudding events, did the redneck raves, which went viral last year.
Oh, wow.
For all the wrong reasons, but love him.
Oh, was that the milk crate challenge thing?
No, the redneck rave, he went viral because like somebody had like got like impaled by a tree at their rave. It was insane. Yeah. So it was on national news and I was like, I've been there. Like
shows you how much national news I actually watch. And that's scary because I work for a news station. So,
I mean, it wasn't like big news in Texas, probably. Texas is like its own country. So
that was like, what happened on that is probably a slow weekend here in Texas. I don't know. I'm a guest.
When I think of Texas, I like think of it as its own country. Like you guys aren't in the United States, you're your own little place. And that's what he thinks too.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny because before I moved to Texas, I lived out in New Mexico and everybody was convinced New Mexico was not part of the United States. Like anytime I told my friends or anything, they're like, so do you have to have like a passport to go there? It's like, it's in the United States. It's home of
you see how the education system has failed us.
Yes. And it's like, it's home of one of the oldest cities in the country.
Oh my gosh. I've my aunt is an English teacher and I was at her school one time and we were talking and I said Canada instead of Canada. True story.
I mean,
The education, my middle school education did not get me far.
it's all good. I often tell people that I'm that child that should have been left behind.
Oh,
Because
funny.
when I was going through school, it was no child or no children left behind, and I should have been left behind several different times. But
Yeah, I was never good in school. I actually like barely passed kindergarten because I would never go. My anxiety was so bad.
well, I mean,
It's just hilarious. Like, it's
gotcha.
funny to think about it.
For sure. So how's the live show situation been going? Have you been doing any live shows or?
Yeah, I've been performing a lot with my band 316. We are actually doing a show tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'm not excited about that, but I am excited for the show. I just hate waking up early. I'm a diva. And then we're going to Montana Friday and Saturday to do shows.
Nice.
Never been to Montana. I've only flown once. So I'm just going to, double up on my CBD and tough it out.
Nice. Where in Montana are you going?
Bozeman.
Okay. That'll be cool.
They kept talking about what's that show? Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't watch it personally, but you do. I know.
Hey, Bozeman's cool. I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So I guess the real question I need to ask is, who the hell has a show at 6 a.m. in the morning?
Well, so it's an event for like my dad's landscaping company, and they wanted me to sing. And
National conference.
It's a national conference.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was sitting here before the interview, and I was like, Dad, do you think they're like going to judge me because I have pink hair and like they're like landscapers? But so that's what I'm not even worried about waking up early. I'm just worried they're going to be like, who's this crazy girl?
Gotcha. Hey, that's cool though. It's something different because I've been doing a lot of reading about how musicians, especially post-pandemic, if they want to start doing shows and start booking out tours that have like a more full schedule, and they need to start looking at non-traditional opportunities, doing like conventions or doing like town pride festivals. Like,
I mean, that I've done some small town festivals.
Yeah.
Actually, we went home with a whole like, what was it? Remember when we did that festival and they gave us like ham, like this big ham, or was it like some type of meat as like a going away present? I remember that distinctly. You know what I'm talking about. It was like, oh, it was in Kentucky. Yeah.
of course it was in Kentucky. Of course it was.
I was like, I mean, and then we got home and we couldn't cut it.
I don't even.
You don't even know where to go from there.
Nope. All right, guys. That's it. Thanks. Have a good one. Nope. I don't even know how to. Yeah, I don't even know how to transition out of that one. But anyway, so that's funny. So Kentucky ham shows. As far as so you've got the show tomorrow at 6 a.m. and then you got your Montana. How far out are you booked right now?
Into March and April for sure.
And is it all with the band, or is it some band, some solo stuff?
It's all with the band. I mean, I do writers rounds here and there. I think we have one writers round in Nashville. But I try to, not play on Broadway or like close to Broadway.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. You already get it. Words unspoken.
I already get it. So so shows, new releases, any other big plans for 2022 or?
I mean, I am completely changing my direction with music. So I think that's pretty big. Also, I started a mental health podcast called the Finally Free Movement. And I'm really excited about that.
How long have you been doing the podcast, or is it still very new?
It's still very new. I've only done 2 episodes, and one was with Kevin, kind of talking about his sobriety and just, the aftermath of everything with Zane. But we're going to start booking more, and I'm going to start doing like Zooms. So talking to people from around the world, which I'm excited about. But me as a podcast host, I mean, I'm talkative. So I feel like sometimes I'm just rambling on,
Yeah. Hey, it happens.
I need to take tips from you.
I don't have any tips. I'm just as awkward in person as I am on these podcasts. So
I think that's what it takes. Like we have to be socially awkward to be good at like online podcasting.
I think so. I'll take that one.
I am too.
One person that you should try and reach out to for your podcast is there's this lady that I had on about 2 years ago, right at the beginning of the pandemic. Megan Gallagher, I believe is her last name.
I haven't heard of her.
She was in LA, but I think now she's in Nashville. If I can find her Instagram page, I'll send that to you.
Yeah, but for sure. I've been trying to find, different artists to bring on.
She's not a musician. She like mental health and stuff is
really
that she talks about. So
that's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
So yeah, I just
it's definitely been what you want me to hold up the sign?
Yeah, because that's your tattoo as well.
Well, they can't even see it because it's blurry. Let me take my face out.
There you go. That works.
Like, Dad, I don't know what kind of autofocus you have on your camera.
No, it's a background feature that they have on Zoom, so people can't see what's behind you.
It's hilarious. It's definitely been, I think the best part of this new year for me has been being transparent about my mental health. For a long time, I had people in the industry tell me like, don't talk about it. Like you need to be seen as perfect and, just like this perfect country singer girl, like a Taylor Swift. But as I've been more transparent, I've just gotten so many messages and so many stories, and people like, I had a girl reach out the other day and tell me she went to therapy. She started going to therapy because she saw that I was struggling and I was trying to work on my issues. And I was like, that's amazing. So I think that has been the highlight of my year. And the music will be too, but more than anything, that's important to me.
Yeah, for sure. How often are you releasing shows for the podcast? Is it a weekly thing or just kind of?
It's not yet. Eventually, hopefully I want it to be, I'm still kind of trying to get my head around it because it's not as easy as I thought it was.
Hey, and like the best piece of advice I got for you on that front is just be honest and let the conversation last. Because the one thing that I struggled with early on was, it's got to be X amount of time. Like we got to hit this X amount of time. And I would just continually stretch the podcast until we weren't talking about anything. And it's like, all right, so this was an hour and a half podcast, but it could have been done in 20 minutes. And just kind of keeping it, be honest with yourself and just keep it natural. And if the conversation, you'll be able to tell when the conversation's dying off and you just wrap it up. And that's kind of the way it has to be. So
I agree with that. Definitely. Because I think the first podcast we did was like 40 minutes. And I was like, well, oh, well, they're going to listen.
Because you can't compare yourself to like the Joe Rogans of the world where they go on for like 3, 5, 6 hours because.
No, but when we were driving to Texas last time, guess what Kevin had on the radio? Joe Rogan. And I was like, tranquilize, just take me out. I can't do it anymore.
But, it's just you'll find your momentum as you kind of go and just. You'll figure it out. I'm sure of it. You're smart enough. You've been doing the music business long enough. You'll get it figured out. It's just a matter of finding your audience, finding the tempo. And if you want it to be conversational, keep that in mind. Like one of the things that I do is I try not to know too much about the person, just enough to like know where I need to lead.
That's probably a good idea. So it's not like you're like a newscaster.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, so when you say, so if I like lead into something like, oh, hey, where did you go to grade school? Like, I know I'm, some weird random question that's out there publicly, but then you say, but I went to grade school here, but I went to grade school with Britney Spears. I don't know. I'm just making things up right now. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that, you know, and I really didn't know that. So it's just kind of knowing
More authentic.
Yeah. And then your inquisitive nature will kind of take over. So
I do like to do like a little bit of research. And then, you know, if I know them, I'm just going to let them talk because it's their story, not mine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I don't want to keep you too much longer since you've got a 6 a.m. show. But we do have one thing that we've added to the podcast since you've been on here last.
Okay.
It started off as one random question, but my podcast last night asked if we could expand it to 10 questions. So we're going to do that again. It was a lot of fun. So I have a random question generator. I have literally no idea what it's going to ask. Sitting right here on my app.
I don't know if you want to do this with me, but go ahead. It's going to be a journey.
All right. Hopefully I can count to 10 and remember 10 questions and not keep going. All right. What one TV show would you erase from your memory only to go through watching it all over again?
Oh, crap. Hill House, the first season of Hill House.
Okay. What is the most extreme item on your bucket list?
Oh gosh. I want to swim. Like I want to go in one of those cages and like swim with the sharks, but you know, not get eaten.
Would you rather win a tournament of death or host a tournament of death?
Ooh, host. I would totally host.
What current trend do you currently hate?
TikTok therapists. I hate them. Like you can't diagnose someone over a TikTok.
That's fair. Very fair. If you had to copy someone's wardrobe, who would it be?
Amy Winehouse.
If cars were free, how many would you have?
I would have 2. I would have a hippie van and like a 50s muscle car.
Okay. 2 more. Would you rather have $1 million or 3 million Twitter followers?
I don't care about Twitter. I want I don't want followers. I want the money.
If your personality were an alcoholic beverage, what would it be?
Tito's vodka.
Fair. Okay. Oh, no, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. For whatever reason, like my phone case is just like cracked in half. And so anytime I press anything, Siri just starts going off. It's like, no, Siri, I'm not talking to you.
I have an Alexa, and my friends, when we're on the phone, they'll be like, Alexa, turn the volume up to 10 when I'm listening to music. And I'm like, oh.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it so much.
You like my alcoholic beverage?
But yeah, so that was I don't know what to call that segment. It literally was born last night. So
I love it. I think it's so cool. And I like the random Spitfire questions.
Yeah. I had to clean it up though, because when I did it yesterday, it was like popping up some like really raunchy questions. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and ask this question. No, next one. So luckily I was able to go into like the settings and like, nope, get rid of this one, get rid of this like category and keep it fun. Nothing crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's been an absolute blast chatting with you. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too much longer for that 6 a.m. show. I'm sure you're.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just so looking forward to it. I really am.
What time? So for a 6 a.m. show, what time do you have to get up to be ready for a 6 a.m. show?
I'm probably going to have to get up at like 5, but I'm going to braid my hair. Well, I don't know. I might stretch it. I'm going to braid my hair tonight so I don't have to curl it.
Gotcha. Well, do you have to like do vocal warm-ups, or is that something you'll do on the car on the way there?
It really just depends on if I'm feeling like it. And I know so many singers are going to come for me for that, but like I don't know. I know my voice and I know when I need to warm up and when I don't. If I'm like doing a really long show, I'll warm up a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah. And I take it it's not going to be an overly long show.
It's a couple hours.
Okay.
So I probably will warm up a little bit, but I never do the full warm up because I can't keep my brain focused on it.
Gotcha. Very fair. So as far as new singles and all that stuff, if they want to check out what you got out already, any upcoming shows, any releases, where's the best place to stay up to date on everything that is Bailey James?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Bailey James Gang. All of my socials are Bailey James Gang. And my website is baileyjames.com.
Awesome. I like the James Gang reference. It works. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. And like when we started it, we were just trying to like find something to call my fans. And we were like, okay, James Gang. Like that's, and it just stuck.
Yeah. It works. It like for me, I've been doing this for 6 years. It's like I have no idea what to call the people that like Live and Amplified. It's like
I don't.
You're just my people. That's what I call.
I don't really even call them the gang. I just call them like my family because that's how I feel. I feel like my 100,000 followers on Instagram are all extended family.
Hey, subtle flex right there. I appreciate it.
I know. I kind of felt like a cornball for that.
Hey, it works. You work very hard for where you're at, and I really enjoy your music. I can't wait to hear the next single when it drops, see the next video. So anybody out there listening, make sure you go find or follow Bailey James on all her socials. Go find her on Spotify. You will not be disappointed. So I don't know why I did the thumbs up, but it just felt appropriate. But anyways, once again, Bailey, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.